This was 15
Yeah, I see that. Endorsement agreement, holy cow,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my watch beeped. It is 6 p.m. Start with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Everybody have a chance to look at the agenda? Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
I move approval of the agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Marcus, seconded by Darla. Any discussion? Hearing none, how do you vote?
We have one.
Oh, we have one on the phone. So, Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
All yes? Have you had an opportunity to look at the October 7th council meeting minutes? If so, is there any discussion according to those minutes?
I did not know that Melissa was not going to be here, so Marcus, I don't know if you would like to read that one paragraph for Melissa.
Okay, I can read it. Melissa Kai made a motion to expel Vickie Larsen from the city council. Dave Larsen seconded it. During discussion, Ms. Larsen stated that the council is going to regret this. Melissa Kai asked if that was a threat for the aldermen individually or against the city. Ms. Larsen stated this is setting a precedent with long-standing consequences and not for the good. Marcus Ireland reiterated it was setting a precedent. Mayor Hayter asked for a vote, roll call vote. Dave Larsen, Marcus Ireland, Linda Talbot, Melissa Kai, Darla Ruppy voted aye. Vickie Larsen voted no. Due to a conflict of interest, Ms. Larsen's vote was void. Did you get that, Melissa?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, is there any other discussion regarding the minutes? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 7th minutes.
Second.
Motion was made by Linda, and seconded by Marcus. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Yes. We move on to public input.
I have public input. The minutes are still not accurate, but I have the recording. I do want to publicly thank and express my thanks to the family of Mike Kezar for his dedication and loyalty for all the time that he spent as finance officer for the city of Alcester. I think there should be some sort of recognition by the city, but whatever. I am asking, where is the website?
I am still working on that. It's an issue with the transition. I have made 5 tech support calls with Network Solutions. hopefully we are one step closer. Their Network Solutions did not have an answer why this transition has not happened. So I was very assertive with them on Friday, and I said I have to get something resolved. And then over the weekend, they uplifted it to another department, and I did get an email, which I forwarded on to Alliance, who has to initiate the transfer. So I am diligently working on it, and I am doing everything within my means to get it done.
Okay.
So,
One last thing. On November 6th, I was at the food pantry dealing with a client. I have already done an incident report for the police department. The client was in the process of leaving. I heard some loud honking and out on First Street, and I peeked out the door. I didn't see anything. The client left. I climbed in my car and proceeded to move on to First Street. And as I looked west, I saw a extended silver-colored truck, extended cab, silver-colored truck, come screaming, westbound to eastbound, from the west to the east. He passed two sedan-type cars, nearly running one off the road, and he stopped at the fire department. Four-way flashers don't count on private vehicles. The next day, I received a phone call. This one I did not witness. I want to be sure that you understand this. But there was a white Suburban moving from the east to the west. It blew through the four-way stop at Broad and 2nd Street. Again, you can't, the people cannot be doing this. There is no fire and no medical where if you kill somebody on the way, you're going to walk away without repercussions. We were taught this each time I took EVOC, and I took EVOC 3 times with the rest of the classes and stuff as we went. These people need to be notified. I talked to Jeff on it. He was going to talk to the fire chief. You can't see the four-way flashers, and if they're screaming down the street, like I said, I watched the 2 cars swerve radically. This guy on the pickup one, he came around, was in the oncoming lane of traffic, and I was appalled. This isn't the first time I've witnessed something like this. I had it happen to me where somebody came up behind me, and I was turning on to Highway 11. They went around me, and I was in the process of making a turn, and I almost got clipped.
So the chief of police has been made aware.
Yes,
correct?
I have
All
given
right,
him
then
an
that's-
incident report.
That should be taken care of in one way or another, anyway.
Okay.
Ms. Larsen, you said you still have a copy of the October 7th video.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Is there any other public input?
So these were fire department personnel or ambulance personnel, or I guess I'm not sure what the accusation is.
Over the 2 days, the first day it was fire department personnel. The second day it was reported as somebody coming from the ambulance garage in their private vehicle headed westbound. That one I did not witness, but the first one I did witness.
Is there any other public input? Hearing none. The only thing I would like to mention right now is I did get a letter, and I don't know if it's so much public input, but it is not on our agenda. So I got a letter from the DENR stating that we are approved as far as placement into the state water facilities plan. So that's encouraging. They do say placement only makes the project eligible to apply for funding. It doesn't guarantee funding. So, yeah, we're one step closer, you're right. All right, well, hearing no other public input, we'll move on to number 6, the library.
I'm chairman of the library committee, so I'll do some reporting here. On November 6th, our librarian, Michelle Norling, sent me a letter dated November 6th. I got it on Monday, that she was giving us her 2-week notice. Officially, the last day of her service to the city will be November 21st. She didn't work Saturday because she had a health issue. She called and we got a sub. Well, and then she called, or her husband called this morning and said that she wouldn't be in because she's continuing with doctor's appointments and health issues. Probably would not be available this week. So my wife, Dee Cole, and a lady named Paige German have been doing some sub work there. I guess I make a motion to accept the resignation of Michelle Norling.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded by Dave and Darla to accept the resignation as public librarian of Michelle Norling. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
I vote aye and thank her for her service to the city and the library.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Yes. Yeah, it would be good to thank her publicly, that's for sure. Incidentally, I'm gonna take a step back to what Mrs. Larsen brought up in public input. I think it would be very wise to publicly thank the family of Mike Kezar and Mike Kezar posthumously that, I mean, he did dedicate an awful lot of time to the city of Alcester as a public servant and to the paper as well. I mean, he's done a marvelous job in his life as supporter of the city of Alcester, so.
Summer rec wouldn't be the same without his leadership years ago.
I can well imagine. I meant to mention that earlier. Okay, then we move on to the letter B, hiring of support staff. Is this interim?
Yeah, this is interim until we have a librarian hired.
Okay.
So
So,
when I talked with Paige German, she was giving me a name when we first heard about the issues that Mrs. Norling was having. So I contacted Paige German, and she has worked at the college library, and her mother is a librarian, so she said she grew up around the library, quite familiar with the way things were happening. Not so much with our facility, but with libraries in general. I told her, until we find somebody, she can negotiate it when she comes in for an interview, if we get to that point. But I told her she would be getting $10 an hour as a sub. My wife, Chris Larsen, would like to get $10 an hour as a sub. And Dee Cole, who was our librarian, as you know, for 35 years or something like that, I think she should be paid more. I would recommend $15 an hour. And I could make that a motion.
Dave?
Yep.
I do think just because your wife is one that's potentially hired, you should let somebody else make it just so there's no appearance. I mean, it's fine, but just for
Maybe you
appearance.
shouldn't even vote. Sounds like a conflict of interest.
think that'd be a good idea.
Thanks for pointing that out.
So I think the suggested dollar amounts are pretty logical. 10 for Chris Larsen and 10 for Paige German currently. And with the experience that Dee Cole brings to the table, she deserves a considerable amount more. But
Well, she's probably gonna be brought in to train someone new.
I'm sure, yeah. So I would entertain a motion regarding the hiring of these individuals.
I move to approve the hiring of Paige German at $10 an hour, Dee Cole at $15 an hour, and Chris Larsen at $10 an hour.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Marcus, seconded by Linda, to hire Paige German at $10 an hour, Dee Cole at $15 an hour, and Chris Larsen at $10 an hour, interim library staff. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave, I'm going to
Abstain.
abstain, yeah. Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
4 yes, 1 abstained. Motion has passed. Alcester Chamber of Commerce would like to close the street. December 4th, 5:15 to 7:30 p.m. And then letter B, I'm assuming is a continuation of the same, blocking off Iowa Street between Arlene's Cafe and Alliance Communications Building, and all of the parking spots from Iowa Street west to the police department.
And that would be on the north side of the road. They are gonna have, the Vic with the horse and carriage rides again, and so that will be the loading and disembarking place where the tree is on the corner.
Well, I would look for a motion on shutting down the street during that time.
I'll make a motion to close down the street, the block off of Iowa Street between Arlene's and Alliance Communication. Parking spots from Iowa Street to west to the police department on December 4th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m.
It actually says 5:15.
Oh, 5:15 to 7:30.
I'll second.
Motion made by Darla and seconded by Marcus. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Aye. Street updates regarding the sign that we've had some discussion about in the past. It started out with a request for a deaf child sign, and now I think we've kind of leaned toward something about, what does it say, watch for children, or watch children play. I don't know if anybody had an opportunity to look at these signs that, what is this anyway? Econo Signs provides, there are a number of them, children at play, slow children at play, and watch for children. I guess I'm just wondering what everyone's opinion is and what you'd like to do.
Was there a reason they switched from deaf child to children in play.
Well, he's not really deaf.
No, he's not.
I think it's almost like an attention deficit thing.
Oh, okay, I thought he was deaf also, I thought that's what you were talking
Could we?
No, he's not deaf, he's Down syndrome.
Oh,
about. Okay.
So,
so slightly
Because
handicapped.
I just didn't want to say one thing if people
Right.
think,
Right.
oh,
yeah, no,
Child, they'll
he
see.
is not deaf, he's just Down syndrome. But, it's just a matter of something to alert
Yeah.
drivers that there may be a child in that area that is not paying attention.
I just
Slow,
wanted to make sure.
slow down.
We'll leave one both ways, right?
Well, we, just Wanda and I were talking that we may want to consider, because there is families of small children right around that corner to the west at the Haitia's house. So it's in that same vicinity, so if we did put a sign on 3rd Street and on Dakota, so that if somebody was driving from west to east, they would also be alerted that Noah may be walking to the bus, or the other children could be walking to that bus.
Are these two-sided?
No, I think they are just.
Just Saturday, I saw one, I was somewhere, and it said that was a deaf, I'd never seen one, and it said deaf child present.
Ah,
And it was a big sign. And you did notice it, so.
Oh, yeah. I've always noticed the one in Vermillion,
Oh, yeah.
every time I went in there.
Although as soon as you said two, then I started thinking, have I ever noticed it coming back out?
I never see it.
No, I agree, yeah.
So I'm like,
I wonder if there is a sign on the other side that I just have not been paying attention, or?
No, because I think
It's like I
the
just
child
never touched
lived in the house.
On the north side.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and maybe it is two-sided, but again, if it's on the opposite side of the street, you don't really see it. I don't know. Well, do we have any specific wishes regarding the signage?
The signs are fairly reasonable in price. The pole is probably the more expensive piece. And I think we would do that middle option. I think that's
Children at
what
play.
we do for signage. The high intensity prismatic, I think we do that one, we don't do diamond braid.
we're doing children at play or slow children.
Or watch for children.
Same thing, watch for children. That would be my suggestion. Every time I see one of those slow children that play, I keep thinking, yeah, well, what about fast children?
Well, that's a good point.
If I could be recognized,
Yes.
what about those, they show a walking child. It's a plastic sign. It's a plastic,
Oh, yeah.
Figure.
I've seen that too.
Glow in the dark.
yeah. Would that,
They almost
Maybe
look
work
like
better than-
the thing that you put out when you mop a floor, you know, I mean,
Oh,
The only
you've seen those.
downside of that would be those are on the ground. So if there was a parked car there,
Or snow.
someone who is new to the area may not see it,
Yeah.
where a sign is elevated.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do like this.
I don't, how well would they stay in place with the winds that we've been
Yeah,
having?
that's-
there is one in Beersford on the eastern end, across the street from those storage sheds. And that's stayed up there pretty well. You could maybe put a stake in that would come up through.
Yeah, I'm sure they have to have a mechanism because they're not meant to be temporary.
It's just a suggestion.
What do you think? You're looking for that kind of a thing,
I didn't see anything.
well, maybe not in that company, but.
How expensive are they?
No.
2-foot by 2-foot sign is like $38.
And then I just had a thought, up the street, we also have a daycare center. Almost could have two coming down that street.
No, that's true.
Because there is a lot of little kids just up a little further. Isn't that, do they go out that way or no? Do they go out in the alley?
No, they go on Dakota. The buses drop them off at
Bus and
Dakota.
parents drop them off on Dakota.
Mhm.
Is the,
The bus has a bus stop sign.
is the daycare in operation between 3rd and 4th?
Not yet. And I don't know the status of that.
Oh, okay.
So the only one we have on there is the one between 4th and 5th.
Well, I just was thinking, it's kind of all down the same.
And all on the same side.
Yeah,
So I think on 5th and Union, there is a Watch for Children sign, but it is in need of replacement. You can't really read it anymore. Because there used to be a daycare
But,
in that house in the corner. It's not anymore.
but they don't have any children that live there at all.
No, they don't.
They
I was
haven't,
just
there
thinking
haven't
if the
been
signs are
children live there for
inexpensive enough,
years.
maybe we could put them in several places around town, like near the daycares and
Yeah,
any area where people might need to be taking special attention for children.
Yeah, it is pretty inexpensive compared to thought of a loss, that's for sure.
Have you checked with Lonnie or Dale to see how much the post that's it back?
No, I have not. And I can talk with Lonnie tomorrow and we can come up with a game plan and present it in December if you would like. And that way, because I'm sure the next question is if we say yes on the signs, then we put them on both sides or just one side.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think we ought to move on this particular sign right now. I mean, we've already wasted enough time, so we could take care of this and then possibly revisit other signage areas. I mean, at least that lets these folks know that we acted.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion, and I would entertain a motion to add a sign there at 210 Dakota Street.
Before, we should maybe have that discussion about both sides of the street for that location too. Since if we're gonna put them up right away, do we want them on both sides?
I guess it would depend, as far as I'm concerned, on whether the sign is, well, actually, you know, even if it is two-sided, it has to be on both sides of the street. You're right, yeah.
The downside is these people live across from Nathaniel Lutheran Church, so the sign on the east side of the street will have to be at your old house.
Oh, yeah.
At whose house?
At Becky's house,
Yeah.
between
So it'll be
Nathaniel
the
and-
first house south of the church.
or right at that alley area.
Or do we need one there? Isn't this child probably going to be playing on the west side of the street more so? So we have one coming down Dakota and one coming from the west.
On Third?
On Third. Would that be sufficient, or do we need the one?
I don't really know. I mean, you could put them all over town, really.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too.
So I think we can, at the very least, say we're gonna buy two for this particular instance. Depending on where we want to put them, we want two. Okay.
Okay, so suggestion then would be to put two signs up somewhere in that area. probably location dependent upon what Lonnie finds as reasonable. But I would need a motion.
Do we need to know the price of the motion?
Well, it's
$37.80,
$37.80 each.
but the post could be another.
Yeah, could be another, well, nowadays.
I'm gonna say that the posts are upwards of 75 to 100.
Yeah, it depends on what the post is made of. Are they those breakaway style
What is, they do steel.
steel? Yeah.
So if we do 2 posts, which Lonnie may have inventory of, I don't know. So it would be 2 posts and 2 signs would be 280, roughly.
So could you just say up to $300?
And then are we just approving an allocation, or are we approving the purchase of 2 signs?
I think we should approve first. The street department still has money in the budget, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to purchase 2 signs, high-intensity prismatic, 24 by 24, that say, "Watch for children," and poles to mount them.
I'll second.
Motion has been made by Dave and seconded by Marcus. Any other discussion? If not, Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Yes. We can move on to legal updates, 307 Iowa and 204 Ofsted updates. Do you have anything for us?
I do. So the issue with Mr. Clausen's home, he's retained counsel. I can't remember if I informed you folks of that. I've been in communication with them, and he is mailing his legal counsel a key to permit an inspection pursuant to the warrant, which actually expired. So he also hasn't voluntarily permitted an inspection pursuant to request. He's still making us get another warrant. So Mr. Fillings has signed an updated affidavit today, which will get us another warrant. Mr. Noyd's son, I ran through with him the issues with his will and ownership of the property in an email, letting him know what potential options are. As you know, Mr. Fillings has condemned that building, so I hope Charles gets back to me here this week. The next step for that is to probably go to court and see what, if anything, can be done with the building. Mr. Clausen's counsel also sent us some pictures. They appear to be old, but I think we are going to get into that house and get to inspect it here at some point. And I think some progress is being made. I think it's been, personally, I think it's been helpful he's had an attorney, because they've kind of explained things to him from our perspective, and, you know, what can be done and what can't be done. So it's incremental, but it's progress. Those are all the updates I have with respect to that. I don't have anything. I think an executive session would be needed for item 10, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Any questions or anything from anybody? Hearing none, we'll go on to item 11, finance office updates.
So it's time, every 3 years, we have to renew our garbage collection license. And in the past, we've always had 2 available people to send the requirements to, and then they would decide to fill out the application and submit their bid to the city. And this year, with Independence Waste being no longer in business, I did make contact with Lauren Fisher and sent him his packet. And it is being advertised, so if another agency decides to step up, I will send them a packet as well, so.
When does that have to be in place?
I'm asking that I have the information back by November 30th, so that the license can be granted in December, because it expires in December of 2020.
Well, you'll notice that letter B says motion to approve me to sign the local government COVID recovery fund reimbursement agreement. And this document is amazing. I cannot even tell you how boring it is. But it basically says that there's a reimbursement agreement regarding the COVID funds. I guess I don't know how it will end up. I don't think anybody does. But I have the agreement right here if you'd like to take a look at it.
Yes.
Yep.
And I did print a couple of other copies, but it was just so long, I didn't print one for everyone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's. Basically, it's saying that the state has the ability to decide where the CARES money goes, and if you get CARES money, they kind of have you somewhat dangling on a string.
And a lot of this will be based off of the receipts that we submit.
And by definition, I mean, it is grant money for all practical purposes, so there isn't any, theoretically, there isn't any liability on the city's part financially, so.
So we either, we'll get it, or we won't, and if we don't, we pay for what we purchased out of the general fund.
Correct.
But if we get it, it could prove to be helpful financially. So, there's CARES money out there. I guess it's up to you whether you want to allow me to sign the agreement.
Is every state different, or is this federal?
So I think every state's different.
It is.
Yeah.
I think there were federal guidelines and then each state tacked on their additional guidelines, so it's both.
Right.
The federal government gave money to the
Proverbial.
states with stipulations to use as they saw fit.
Oh, they see fit.
The state has decided that municipalities, counties, healthcare systems, and other entities will get different pots of money if they use it in accordance with what the feds see fit and what the state sees fit within the federal.
I just know it might work like extended playgrounds to make it more room. I just wondered if it was all the same. That's one of the things.
That was a use of funds that has not come up.
Yeah, well, some of our playgrounds are small
Yeah.
and stuff needed to be spread out.
Right? That's
So,
very, that
yeah.
was very quick.
Creative.
thinking. Very creative, yeah.
What do you think? Shall we sign the reimbursement agreement?
Sure.
I would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the mayor to sign the local government COVID recovery fund reimbursement agreement.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Dave, seconded by Darla. Any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
5 yes. Then we move on to resolution 2020-17. That is like this, isn't it?
Oh, no, it should be in your packet. It's got a title page
Yes.
right there.
Of course. Okay. Grant policy, and basically, go ahead.
Oh, this is just another thing that was part of the CARES program, is that it was recommended that a policy be put in place on the treatment of grant money. If there is grant money in excess of $750,000, how that would be treated, which this particular money will not fall into that amount.
But
And
something for our community center, or our, not community center,
yeah,
the sewage wastewater facility.
this is true, and it also has the conflict of interest, which was also a big thing as far as the CARES money. And the conflict of interest refers to the city officials and city employees. So,
Is there any way that the Alcester EMS can take advantage of any of this, or?
they would have to
Do it on their
go
own
through
basis?
the same process
Yep.
that we are doing, because they are a separate entity and they're not part of us. But I believe there are some monies available for the EMS, but they would have to get lined up for that.
I would assume they already are working along those lines, but it might not be a bad idea to at least touch base with Jeff Nahava.
And the kinds of things that they could get reimbursed for would be any of the PP&E that they are buying to aid in going to calls.
Well, I would need a motion on the grant policy, resolution 2020-17.
Just random question, what is the common council? Is that us? Just wanted to make sure, because we're referred to as city council and common council.
Yeah.
As common as we can get, right?
Random group, easy.
Well, I would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2020-17-grant policy.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Darla, seconded by Marcus. Any discussion?
Did this verbiage come from the state?
I would just like it to be known that I would prefer Oxford commas be consistently used throughout this document. They're not, but I'll let that one go. That's just
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
5 yes. Reminders and updates. Looks like the new landfill hours they actually have been in place for a while, since the beginning of November, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, the landfill is going to close the end of November, weather permitting.
And I only put that in there if we get massive amounts of snow in this next week and a half. We may
Could be
close
closed earlier. No.
Okay, I was like, the closing date might get pushed. So
No, it might get pushed forward,
Yes.
so.
In other words, I should get my barrel of stuff out there this week.
When it's nice.
Pretty nice weather coming up here. Business decorating deadline.
Yes, I just put a couple of the flyers in there that the chamber has going on. If you want to decorate your business or decorate your home, I should just call it business, but there's chamber cash giveaway. And the importance of this is this will be part of the route that the horse and carriage will go. So if there's neighborhoods that get decorated, then the horse and carriage will, hit those when they're going through town.
So even though the bullet point says business,
It can
It's the
also be a home,
individual home. Yeah.
correct?
is that like a registration fee or is it just?
No,
Not a
But
fee, but
there's
you
not
do
a-
have to kind of sign up, right?
correct. Just let either Tina or Amanda at the new attraction know.
And there's all kinds of stuff going on. There's an ugly sweater contest. Now that has a registration fee, right?
Yes, because the winner on that is a 50/50, so it's a partial fundraiser for the chamber, and then the 50% will go to the winner in the pot, so.
I was really cute, ugly Halloween sweater.
With COVID, the chamber has been limited on things that they can do and on fundraising that they can do, so this is just an avenue for the chamber.
So just sew a little Santa hat on whatever is on your Halloween sweater.
It's just a bunch of ugly pumpkins.
Oh, okay, all right, well.
I think it's cute.
And of course, there's the Christmas tree lighting that will happen December 4th that we already discussed regarding closing the street, so.
And Mr. Mayor, I might add that the Lions Club is having their drive-up takeaway pancake breakfast on November 28th. Saw that
I just saw it today.
on the big billboard by Southeast, so.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
So
Pick up your food down at the fire
at the
station.
fire station, you just drive up and they'll give you a plate full of pancakes and
I mean,
sausage.
one of those trees.
Oh, sure.
Nice,
Pick
good for
up
them.
trees.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is neat.
We did 250 some dinners at our church a couple of weeks ago that way.
Huh.
It works out. It's not like
Yeah,
normal, but
yeah, you don't get to,
you don't get set to visit with anybody.
right.
Honestly, they probably enjoy it because they don't
There definitely was less cleanup. Yeah.
Lions pancake. And that's gotta be a breakfast thing. What?
Yeah,
I mean,
8 till 11 or 8 till noon. I can't remember what the sign said. I just saw it. It was just up there today.
Okay,
Yeah, I just saw it.
great. Okay, item number 12 says executive session if needed. I had some dialogue earlier today, and I kind of was leaning toward having an executive session to discuss some personnel issues, but I think I'm going to leave it until I get a chance to talk to the individuals responsible for or that are impacted. So it might happen next meeting. Does anybody have any reason for an executive session? Hearing none, I would move on to item 13. That would be a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made by Marcus, seconded by Linda. Any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Marcus?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
6:50 PM. Council has been adjourned.
Mayor?
Thank you all.
Bye, Melissa.